1. New message.
Howdy, partners. This is Tony here, the toughest hombre this side of the Mason-Dixon line, and I'm here to tell you folks about the best gosh darn video game website on the planet. That's right, go to gamersgather.com to get all of your up-to-date video game news. Hello and welcome once again to the Forward Compatible Podcast. This is episode 119, part 1 for May 18th, 2014. My name's Tony. I'm joined, as always, by my fellow podcasters, Masis and Jason. Hello, all. How's everybody doing today?
Doing great.
Doing great? How about yourself? Doing okay? Everything's good?
Yeah.
All right, let's kick off the show with our weekly roundtable and catch everybody up on what we've been playing since the last time we all spoke.
Twin Cobra.
Tell the story.
I now have the Galloping Ghost high score.
Did you?
Yes.
Congratulations, sir.
It took me about 3-4 weeks to get it. Probably about 12 to 15 hours play. I can crush it though right now. I got to the point where I was consistently getting right up to it, but not beating it. And then I barely beat it.
But now you feel like you can get there every time, right?
Not every time, but I think if I played it another 2-3 hours, I can blow that. But I have the record now, and usually when I get the top score, at the local score, I usually let it sit, even though I know I can beat it. Just let other people beat it. And I don't want to drive it so high up where nobody else is going to play.
So what he's saying is he's moved on to another game.
I was playing Raiden, actually. It's another scrolling shooter. I just love that.
Same cabinet, right?
Same cabinet, actually.
Same
I've been
audio
playing
problems?
Sky Shark, too, but
Same audio problems?
no audio problems on this one. I want the whole row of local high scores.
That's the goal.
I have 3 games in a row now. So,
Just keep moving to the right.
Don't you have one on the other side too?
well, I have Tiger Heli, but he moved that off the main floor, and that's
So now you told him that when he brings it back, he's got to put it in that row, right?
yeah. Well, I have the local high score in Sky Shark. Actually, I got that yesterday because.
Guy over here setting records.
Well, no, this one's a little sketchy because he had it on the wrong dip switches, so the settings were a little incorrect for the website he uses, Arcade, that tracks the high scores. He had the dip switches wrong, so that you start with 5 guys instead of 3, and then you don't get a free guy at all. So he reset the settings, and I got a new high score. It was a new personal best, though, and it was slightly lower than the previous high score, but that one got erased because it was on the wrong settings. So
But you still have that record though.
now I have the record, yeah.
Okay.
But it's easily beatable. And that one I can also crush, but I'm waiting for...
Someone else will knock you down. Gotcha.
Nice.
How about yourself, good sir?
I purchased MLB The Show based on Tony's great review that came out this past week. Other than that, I didn't really play too much, but we did have our launch party for Gamers Gather,
Yes.
which we hosted our Injustice tournament.
I played Injustice this week, by the way.
Both of these gentlemen ranked in the tournament,
Tony beat me.
we were 4th and 5th place overall. We both did very well.
and
But I did fuck him up.
the overall tournament winner was Angry Andy. Somebody did ask. They said, "Is that the Angry Andy in the
Yes.
photo?" Well, here's the big reveal.
You don't know.
You showed him?
2.5 years.
No!
It is Angry Andy in the photo.
No!
But wait. Through a process of elimination, they only know who me and Mas are, so they still don't know.
Well, no, because Mark, Gamers Gather Mark listed who's in what order.
Oh.
So, yes.
Now this is like
It's okay.
It's all
he took
gone.
off the mask.
It's all
okay.
gone.
He's
There's-
now
okay.
useless. Forever
Well,
mid-card
we've
status.
challenged people plenty of times because he's made appearances in different videos, and we've let them know that Angry Andy is in the video. So now I want people, now that you can find out, it's out there on the web, what he looks like, I want people to go back and find him in the videos
Yeah.
and tell us what videos he's in.
Yeah.
So the legend continues. It's not like disproven. He's a real person. So
But he was only in for the tournament from Bangladesh, right?
Yes.
Yes, he flew in specifically
For the tournament.
for our tournament.
Yes, yes.
Non-stop from Bangladesh.
And now he's in Nicaragua.
Yeah. As for myself, I've been playing some Luftrausers on the
Your
Vita.
weapons?
Yeah, that game is stupid fun, dude. Stupid fun. It's so primitive. You start off on a warship, and you just push up on the D-pad to start going. And you're a little plane that's like a 3-color palette background, and there's just a zillion ships trying to shoot you down, and you have to like go through everything, weave in and out, and keep multipliers going by continually killing ships without allowing the multiplier to die down. And there's like submarines that then will attack you, and big battleships that just spray ammo at you.
So are you
like-
actually shooting them, or are you
Yeah.
just dodging them?
What kind of game is it? Is it
It's like a
2D?
yeah.
Okay.
It's very basic, like arcadey game.
Okay, it
Right
sounds
up
arcade.
Marsa's alley.
Yeah. And then what else did I do? I did a little bit more of the show, and I'm about to get started on Thief finally, but I haven't started yet.
What did you think of Injustice, by the way? Was that the first time you played it?
I think I played it once before, but on PS3 for like 10 minutes, and
You
I was
played
kinda
it on 360 here also.
Okay.
Because I remember specifically.
I think this is when it came out though, like
yes,
over a year ago. It's
because
just like,
we sat there and I went through and I covered all the character names and just asked Tony who he thought they were based on how they looked.
and I got like 5 out of 40.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Just
Wow, I
Batman,
could've done better than
Superman.
that.
Yeah.
I don't know any of those people, dude.
Oh.
So, but yeah, that's essentially what I played this week. So I guess that'll bring us to the news.
Dirty, sexy, news.
News. Microsoft had a ridiculous week this week, so they're gonna, kind of eclipse all the rest of the stuff. But first news story: Microsoft on Xbox Live specifically has decided to remove the paywall. Essentially, you're going to be able to not subscribe to Xbox Live, and your 360 will still be able to get to some of the apps that you pay for outside of Microsoft, with like YouTube, Netflix.
Hulu Plus, Skype is a big one. Internet Explorer,
All of them,
Yeah.
essentially.
virtually everything.
Yeah,
Twitch.
and that's Twitch. I believe the WWE network app is one of them. Also.
Just all of them. They loaded
Pretty
the
much,
paywall.
yeah.
So I don't know. Is this good news or
This
too
is.
little, too late,
Here's-
or what's going on here?
Well, here's another way that they're making up for it. To tag up on the news story, the follow up to that is they're actually offering refunds to anybody who has Xbox Live Gold that would like one. That if you want to cancel your Gold subscription, you can. Now the stipulation is they will only refund you what you have remaining on your Gold. So, for instance, if yours expires in July, you're only going to get 1 month back. But they're still offering some incentive to people, to get some money back. That's pretty cool.
It's definitely good publicity here because I think
And that's what they really need now.
they do. They've been suffering a little bit from. I think they treat people like as if they're this premium like service. Like, oh, PlayStation, oh, they give it for free, but we're Xbox. We're Xbox Live. That's the brand name. We can do this because we're Xbox Live.
And it worked last gen.
Well, when they were dominating, absolutely crushing the competition. Now, I think they're getting a hold of where they are right now, and they realize that we can't get away with this right now anymore. And now they're acting upon it, and I think this is yet another step for them in regaining consumer trust.
We're almost to the point where everything that they said at their press conference last year has been reversed.
This is why competition's so good. Like, I never understood when I'm like on a video game website reading the comments and people are like, "Oh, great, this means finally Nintendo's going to go away, or finally this is the end of Sony, or the end of Microsoft." It's so dumb to think that way, because even if you're not a fan of the other two, this drives the other, like, people that you don't even like. It'll drive them to compete more, and it causes everyone universally to up their game. Like like look at what PlayStation Plus did to Xbox. Xbox would have been happy to go on for eternity with what they were doing with Live.
Oh, yeah.
Had PlayStation Plus not started doing what they were doing with all the free games and all the the craziness, it's even cheaper, and it's causing Xbox Live to change their stance on everything, and everyone will universally get better because competition drives the best out of companies. If they're sitting by themselves as a monopoly because you're rooting for your one company, like if you're a big Nintendo fan, you want Microsoft and Sony to go away, it's stupid. Nintendo will just sit on their heels if they're the only company left. It makes no sense. You should want 4 or 5 big companies doing all this to all push each other.
Yeah.
So
Competition drives innovation.
that's what I was trying to get at, but I was confusing myself.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
I am the mad scientist.
Mad scientist, sir.
Yeah.
I'm going to come up with a different name every week for you, too. It's going to be great. We had a bunch of announcements this week. We have Gears of War, the 4th iteration, it's still in the preliminary stages, but they confirmed that that's coming out.
Yeah.
Confirmed that it's part 4.
Yeah. Far Cry 4 got announced this week. And speaking of Ubisoft, 10 teams
Speaking of Ubisoft,
are working on
Far Cry.
Far Cry.
they make. Oh, that's their game. That's Ubisoft. Oh, sorry.
10 teams are working on Assassin's Creed Unity. 10 teams. 10. I
does
thought
that
Call of Duty
mean?
was ridiculous.
What does that
With
mean?
3 or 4 studios, full-on studios are working on this game.
Yeah, what does that mean though? Like, what's considered? What did they hire? This indie studio that made 3 people made a game. Like, oh, you come on and work on this aspect of the game.
No.
I mean, it could theoretically it could be. We don't know the
It's
exact
just a
team
number.
size.
10? There's 6,000 people working on this game.
It's possible. I mean,
It's hundreds. Assassin's Creed's their biggest title of the year every year. I think what they do, Call of Duty does this all the time. One team will start for 6 or 8 months by themselves until the title, the current, in November when their game launches. Now the other 2 teams come and help
Yeah.
the other game that's a third of the way through get ready before the following year. You know what I mean?
But those teams are massive teams to begin with.
I think these all are too. It's an assumption. I don't have any facts to back that up, but Ubisoft has a lot of big teams as well.
Yeah.
And I think they're pulling everybody in because I don't think it's because the game's scale. I think it's because of all the consoles it's coming out on, and just to spread out they could be saying a team's working on it, where really all they're doing is taking a finished product and making it work on the Wii U this year. You know what I mean? That's their whole that team is working on it. All they're doing is converting the file to the Wii U, but that's another team. You know what I mean? So it could be as trivial as that, or like you said, maybe half of them are small 10-person studios that got brought in that were doing indie games or mobile games because Ubisoft's big in the mobile market, just to help out, or who knows?
okay, they're bringing 10 studios together to make Assassin's Creed.
Unity.
They're uniting them.
Yeah. Sweet.
All right, next big news story we got for the week. YouTube has decided to purchase Twitch.
For $1
$1 billion.
They previously, flashback 8 years, they bought, Google bought YouTube for $1.6 billion.
Uh-huh.
And now Google is buying Twitch for $1 billion. So a little more than half of the price.
Well, I mean, look how much Twitch has exploded
I know.
in the past, 2-3 years.
But this goes to show you, 1.6 billion for YouTube, and now 1 billion for Twitch. How
And
big?
Twitch is obviously pure gaming.
And it's
as to where
exclusively gaming.
Ustream is not.
Yeah. Well, Twitch was owned
Justin
by
TV.
Justin TV, which is but it shows how much value the video game world has in the streaming world. Mm-hmm. It's amazing that that comparison. I keep going back to 1.6 for all of YouTube at the time, knowing where the direction of the internet was going at that time, compared to Twitch at 1 billion. It's huge. It's big news. Now this is going to get challenged probably for monopoly reasons.
Yeah. Kind of building off what you were saying with the video game thing, I think it's because people like watching content video game wise, but it's got to be left out of the hands of professionals, because the people who run studios and stuff, just look at like, what were they, G4?
Yes.
Just look at them. That's what happens when Hollywood people who don't play video games try to put their twist on the video game world. Or look at the VGAs every year. What a disaster. It's so many people tune in to watch the train wreck. It has nothing to do with the show
G4
anymore.
was good.
I don't know. I thought it was kind of crappy.
Well,
Like,
it depends when you started watching it, to be honest. It was G4, and then they merged with Tech TV, and that's when it got really bad. There used to be a really cool show like Behind the Music called Icons, which I loved.
but
And
I like Judgment Day.
Judgment Day and Playground, what was it?
Filter was good.
Filter with, yeah. Anyway, sorry.
But on
Reminiscing.
YouTube you get real personalities from real gamers who actually
On Twitch.
understand, and Twitch, both of them. That's why I think YouTube sees the market. There's a ton of video game content just on YouTube.
I think Google, YouTube, whatever, they see Twitch. No,
As competition, and they just wanted to swallow them up as opposed to fighting them.
well, I don't know about that, but there's definitely that, because YouTube did offer a streaming service that nobody uses.
Hangouts,
Yeah.
right?
Well, they had more like
they did have the live, yeah.
the live streaming, but I'd argue your point about professionals, because I think the biggest market growing right now is esports, and it's professional streams of League of Legends, professional streams of StarCraft, like these competitive things that 50, 60, 70,000 people are watching simultaneously. And these are pros. These are pro gamers that are their full-time job is to play video
Sponsors,
games.
yeah, remember when Fatality got an official sponsor?
This builds into exactly what I was saying. 50, 60, 70,000 people are nothing for like ABC or NBC, who average 1 million viewers at any given time. If these like, okay, if a video game show netted 150,000 viewers on a weekly basis, it would get cut from any network on cable or regular television.
Oh,
It's
no,
far
no,
too
it
low.
would make it on
These are
cable.
canceled shows.
Oh no, yeah, I think you're over.
Whereas
you're
on
overthinking-
YouTube, this will flourish, or on Twitch.
No, cable shows 150,000 viewers is a big deal. Now, if it's a primetime slot, that's a different story. But no, that's a big
Actually,
deal.
Comic Book Men pulls in about 150,000 views a week, and that's after The Walking Dead
But
replay.
I'm also
after
okay.
Talking
But
Dead.
we're saying 150. I'm also doubling what you just
Yeah.
said. You were saying
Yeah, I
more
know.
like 60 or 70. I was saying even 150.
I'd argue that more people are watching the biggest streams on Twitch than they're watching, like your example of AMC at noon on a Saturday.
Yeah.
More people are watching the highest Twitch channel probably than they are watching cable on AMC.
I definitely see the internet streaming and YouTube. It's really cutting into the cable companies, regardless of whatever the numbers are.
Mm-hmm.
People are flocking to it drastically.
Yeah.
Another cool thing, and I'm sure you've seen this, is anytime you go on Twitch and you stream, you can then take that and you can edit it, and then you have to send it over to YouTube. There's a feature built into Twitch to do it. But I'm looking forward to some nice integration. I'm spitballing here, but it would be awesome if down the line we did the show live and then it's instantly uploaded onto YouTube
Yeah.
as soon as we finish. That would be cool. It would be hell on me to get all the music and the banners and all that stuff popping in there, but I'm sure I could do it with some gears and levers and pulleys. Just do it in real time.
Police, yeah. That's,
It comes up topic of the week.
All right. A little more news.
well, hold on. One thing I also saw that
Oh.
a few Twitch is constantly breaking records too with their viewership. I think it was just in February. I think it was the Twitch plays Pokemon.
that broke the internet.
I think it hit 145,000 viewers at one time, which was the highest on Twitch at the time.
Yeah.
And before that, it was like a few weeks earlier. They just cracked 100,000, and like it keeps getting bigger and bigger.
And now
the next
integrating
big
with
thing.
YouTube, which is obviously the biggest video company out there on the internet. I don't know exactly what you would define them as.
Video streaming company.
Yeah. Combining those two powerhouses together,
Yeah.
it's great, especially with the integration into your mobile devices, your gaming devices, everything. Like, I could sit here and I can pull out my phone right now and I can record us and send it straight to YouTube or do it right from Twitch too. It's
Yeah.
really weird, but I think it's going to be awesome.
The further thing is that Google has they have their mega is their Google AdSense too, their advertising power, and now that's partnered with that's going to be
Yeah,
with
so
Twitch.
you'll be able to monetize your live streams.
Now it's going to get to the point where if every single video
Extra 10
game
cents.
website it's going to be mandatory at this point, like to have
a Twitch channel, yeah.
presence. It's the essential. I don't know. It's big news. I think this is huge.
Yeah.
Definitely big news. This week we got a lot of Halo news dropped on us. I'll take them one at a time. First and foremost, we have Halo 5 got officially announced from Microsoft. No longer rumors or just little screenshots or whatever that they leaked at E3. Real Halo 5, and it's subtitled Guardians. So Halo 5 Guardians announced, official, and it's coming in 2015.
So your little raccoon with a machine gun.
Why'd they subtitle it? They left the first 4 perfectly fine.
It might change. I doubt it, but it might change.
I think there will never be a Halo 6.
Really?
Really?
No, it's going to be Halo subtitles from now on.
No,
This is the end of the numbers.
no, they'll have Halo 6 because they already signed on to the trilogy that Master Chief. This is supposed to conclude his thingy.
Just like there's never been
his
a Call of
story.
Duty 5. That's what I'm saying.
Still never been a Call of Duty 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate subtitles.
Also, we have a new blue shielded Spartan that got revealed.
Looks a little sleeker, a little bit more.
Looks female, but they were
feminine.
saying it is not because the initial speculation was this is Cortana.
I think.
She got plugged in, and now she's her own entity, and that'll be the sidekick because Halos are pretty famous for being co-op throughout the campaigns, and this will be kind of your secondary player. It's definitely smaller than Chief, but you don't want to make him bigger than Chief if it is a guy.
And even though they came out and said that it's not a girl, right? Like you said,
Cortana's AI.
She could have taken over a subconscious or whatever, or she could be an AI. Exactly. So
This could be a robot where she just plugs in, and now she's running a body.
they didn't say that it's a friendly though.
Also true.
No spoilers on anything, but we all know, it could be maybe that Spartan's coming after Chief,
Yes.
which could be kind of cool.
What do you think about the release date, by the way?
It's perfect because it ties into a rumor, which I'm going to tack on in just a second. And I'll jump to that.
Tack that
Halo, the Master Chief Collection is announced for this year, or rumored for this year, which would fill the gap in 2014, waiting for 2015. This is going to include Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2, Halo 3, and Halo 4. They're leaving out Reach and ODST and Wars because they don't have Master Chief in them. And this will all be on the Xbox One. So it'll be their first collection. That's why they're not calling it a trilogy, because you're actually getting 4 games, and it'll warm you up for...
And that's why we never got Halo 2 Anniversary Edition.
Is this an HD remake of Halo 2?
Yeah, it'll be a HD remake of all of them. 3 and 4, they're going to up-res them too, and they're going to plop it all in one disc. This is all a rumor at this point, keep in mind.
Okay.
Pretty damn good rumor.
I actually hope they do not an insane amount of these, but there's like 4 or 5 series I really want them to do this with, and Halo's one of them.
I could see. I mentioned it before, like Gears 1, 2, and 3.
I want them to do it with Gears and Uncharted and a couple others that I would like to bring to the next gen. It'll help me get rid of some of the last gen stuff, and there's some of the games I wouldn't mind going back and replaying.
Take out the old 360.
If this rumor is true, what would they do with? Would this be a new multiplayer? You think?
Probably, and it'll probably run out. I assume what they would do to make it easier would be the 4 campaigns. Like you just hit a menu screen, kind of like how Super Mario All Stars is, where you select you want to play campaign 1, campaign 2, campaign 3, or campaign 4, and one huge multiplayer component with maps from all the games.
Which they've done.
New multiplayer.
With maps from everything, yeah.
Okay.
They'll take like the 10 from Halo 1, 10 from,
I could see them like dropping Firefight and all that stuff and just keeping it as a, the verses or whatever.
I think Firefight will be back because I think 343 learned a lot. There was an insane amount of backlash over how they tried to copy Call of Duty and basically ruin what makes Halo Halo in the multiplayer, which they did. They fucked it all up. And then I think they got a lot of backlash about not having Firefight in there as well. And I think that'll be back for $1 billion.
Oh, actually, that's a good point. Let's really quick price.
For the collection, $60.
Yeah.
I could see him doing 80.
Oh.
Just
I
saying.
thought you were gonna go less because it's
No,
nothing.
I could see them
I don't think you.
putting it in a
I don't
fancy
think. I
steel
don't.
box.
I
and
don't
stuff
think you
like
can
that.
do that because pre-owned the games are worth like $5-10 a piece.
Yeah, but I mean, Metroid Trilogy.
That was
That's
60 when it came out.
Nintendo.
Did you see how much that sucker is now?
Well, that's because they
Nintendo,
didn't print
yeah.
enough. The
I'm
game
just saying.
launched at 60.
We are
What the
talking-
aftermarket does with it is none
We are
of the
Launched
talking
at
about
50.
Yeah,
Well, there you
we
go.
are talking about Microsoft. So I'm just saying.
possibility. And then to round out the Halo news for the week, we have confirmation of the Halo TV series will be premiering in the fall of 2015. This is going to be that Xbox One exclusive, and then I think they partnered up with one of the networks at some point, right?
Something there's two different things going on with the Halo TV shows.
And this is something I'm pretty sure you're going to need Xbox Live. to
Exactly. I was
access.
going to say I could see them having gold
Yeah.
to have
This is
the
premium
Yeah.
content they're making, which
Yeah.
makes sense for what
There
Gold should be.
is one little more snippet of Halo-esque news.
Sure.
Along with, and I know this is minuscule, but they have announced along with the price wall going away and everything, Games for Gold is coming to Xbox One. And they are giving you Halo Assault, and I don't remember what the other game was, to be honest.
I remember. Yes, you're right. There's
Yeah.
2 games coming.
And that's starting June, so just a couple weeks. So what they said is, even though they gave out a lot of older stuff on the old platforms,
They learned their lesson.
They learned their lesson. They want to put out more new content with the Games for Gold. So it does seem like, and I know it's going to tie into the other story, so I won't touch on it too much, but it does seem like they're beginning to mimic Sony as best as they can.
It's to the point where what is a distinguishing point between the PlayStation Plus and
The
Xbox
overall
Live
business
Gold?
model has blurred even more, leading into our next story,
The number one story of the week.
and then we can talk about it.
Microsoft has buckled, and they're offering a connectless Xbox One bundle for $399 US. The only catch, it's not available for like
June 9th.
June 9th.
The same day as the Microsoft press conference.
I'm telling you, and I'm not giving any spoilers. We know somebody who's going to be at E3.
Oh, who's going to E3?
I'm telling you, you should go to that because they're going to give them out like what they did with the Slim 360s. They're going to give them out to everybody in the audience. Watch. He's gonna go. He's not gonna go to the Microsoft press conference.
We got
And
invited.
I know you did. That's why I'm telling
me
you to
personally.
go. You did send him and make it the caveat that he has to give it to you. You get it. That's all I'm saying. They're gonna give one out.
I think definitely a weird thing. I don't understand why they didn't make it available immediately. Like, this was really similar to what Nintendo did, which also confused the shit out of me a few months back when they're like, we're dropping the Wii U's price by $50 in 2 more months. And it's like, okay, that's great, but why would you announce it? Because now any sales that Microsoft was going to experience in the next 3 weeks, who in the right mind would buy it with a price cut?
Oh, I know.
Here's why. Okay, because and it plays into the announcement that they said is they want to get all that crap out of the way.
Then hold your announcement for another week or two.
I understand. I get what you, but they wanted to get it all out of the way so that E3 is focused purely 100%
On games.
on games.
Yes.
None of this other.
That I knew too. They
crap.
didn't want this dribbling over.
But I think the date is perfect. E3.
And I also
you know,
think in a weird way, they didn't want to hear the cheers at E3. If they saved this for E3, this would be a bad, like, you remember how happy everybody was with Sony's announcement? That exact same thing, the crowd would flip their shit. They'd be so happy, cheering, screaming, everybody would be applauding.
yeah.
And it'd look even worse that Microsoft did this in the first place, like that people are so happy that they're removing something that nobody wanted in the first place. This way they kind of brush it under the rug. It's gone. They don't have to talk about it, and nobody's seeing the reaction.
Now, I do have one quick thing that I want to tag up on, Tony, is they've come out and they said they will sell the Kinect separately later on down the line. No release date on that yet. And it will be under...
Nope.
Yeah, that's
more than
I've
$100.
heard under.
That makes no sense because they're going to continue selling the bundle. It's going to be over $100.
Is that what, okay. See, I heard
It's probably going to be like 120 because you got to think if the Xbox is 400 and the Kinect's 120, that's 520. But when you buy them together, you get it for 500.
No, I get that, but I'm just saying, like, again, what I had heard was that it was going to be under. I was hearing 70-ish, which was around what the camera was. And then I wanted to ask you how you felt since we're getting ripped off for $30.
Well, this is do you guys, first of all, do you consider this a price drop?
No.
No.
It's an unbundling.
I would argue that this is actually a price increase because a month ago you were able for $450 get the Xbox One
With Kinect
with Kinect
and
Titanfall. So now
and
Forza.
Xbox, and they threw in
Forza.
like a month or two Xbox Live.
and Forza was in there as well.
And that's the one that Angry Andy's got.
Okay, now let's just say you don't care about Forza. Let's say you don't care about Kinect, but now you're suddenly like, well, Titanfall is kind of a big deal.
It's the premier shooter on the platform right now.
It's been 2 months, but it's still big.
It's holding its value.
And you're like, oh, the price dropped. Now I can finally get my Xbox One. And then you're like, all right, what game should I get? Well, I should probably get Titanfall. Well, suddenly you're paying more money now.
for less stuff.
Yeah.
$10 more.
So because of this logic, I'm thinking June 9th is Microsoft's press conference. And that's when this sale goes, this becomes the unbundled. There, in my mind,
They should call it the unbundled edition.
there is no way they are selling a based Xbox One for $399. It has to have something in it. I think for sure. And the reason they're June 9th, they're going to announce whatever that something
Like
is
a
at their
game or
press
something
conference.
in it.
I think it's got to be a little more than a game. I think it's got to be a game plus maybe Xbox Live for 6 months or whatever. I think they have to. Otherwise, this is not a price drop. This is. I'd say.
But
it's
this-
But you're a
is-
smart person to think of it that way.
But this
Anybody
is
else
what
that's-
I know. Like 5 people personally who are going out. They didn't want the Kinect at all. I know 5 people, just on my friends, that's the day they're buying one now.
Well, to me, these people, whoever this is, they must have zero interest in Forza or Titanfall. Then
They just didn't. You know what it is? It's more of a not putting dollars to dollars analogy. It was more of a screw them. I do not want this forced upon me. Like I think
I understand that logic.
it's out of spite. You know what I mean? Like the $10 or $20 they might be gaining or losing. I don't even think they care. They just didn't want this Kinect ever. I didn't want it either, and I feared that this would happen.
So what games are these guys going to play? These friends of yours,
I don't know what they're going to get right away.
are they going to pick up Dead Rising 3?
I don't know.
Because the 2 best games are Forza and Titanfall, really, right? At least 2 of the best 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any argument there.
No, I
it's
I
weird.
get where you're coming from, but again, you have to look at it from the fan perspective of the backlash that people had for them initially forcing that Kinect on everybody when everybody
Yeah.
knew that Kinect was going to fail because it failed once already. Okay, like, realistically, there's a handful of games that actually utilize it. Okay, there's only 1, maybe 2 games that are solely Kinect-based games. Kinect Sports Rivals, and I think there's a DLC game, or like an arcade game. The only time that I used it ever was in Rise, because you can say fire volley as opposed to holding down the trigger, so it's quicker.
And I still held the trigger.
It's been a pain in the ass from the get-go, and this is Microsoft's admission that the Kinect didn't do what they wanted it to do. So for the people that held out, because they hated the Kinect, it doesn't matter to them whether they're going to, in the long run, spend more money. That's a bonus for Microsoft then. You know, so not only did they appease the people that held out because they hated Kinect so much, but then they're making even more money off of them.
Microsoft is in the same boat as Nintendo is with both their current consoles, where there's no explanation why these things were included. Kinect has not one redeeming thing. I actually think it's kind of cool, which is weird for me to say because I'm been the most vocal against Kinect.
And I was the one that liked it, and I hate mine.
And I think they've actually kind of like, I do not mind when I look at this, and I'll get to that how you feel in a minute. Like, what do you think?
Why
like,
do I gotta wait to talk about how I feel?
I've had like no like that
He's
like
going to talk about how you feel.
no, I'm going to talk about how I feel, and then I want to hear what you say. Like for me, it was like people might be like, oh, so how do you feel about the extra $100 that you wasted? I don't look at it as wasting. I've had the console 6 months early. I got it day one, and so that essentially breaks down to 70 cents a day. That I've been able to play my 360 or my Xbox One before all of you, and it is. That's all it is, man.
You could have fed a starving child.
And
That's
I don't-
70 cents a day.
I don't mind the Kinect so much. It actually helps me out a lot. I like the Xbox On feature and going straight to a game. I know that Microsoft constructed it in such a manner that, like the interface and the menu system, that it makes it uncomfortable to use the controller. They did that on purpose.
I don't find a problem using the controller.
But well, I do. I think it's retarded the way they did it. But they did it on purpose to make you want to use the Kinect. And to me, for $100, there was nothing.
Listen, all right. My feelings are, is obviously mine doesn't work properly. I don't know if there's something wrong with it realistically. I never bothered to look into it. I mean, I don't care that much. But you've seen the responsiveness of mine does not match yours. And it's not like I don't have it set up properly. You plug it in, you wave at it, you show it where the floor is at, you have it do a sound test. It's done. Okay, so I've done that. But I don't regret having mine because I do occasionally stream on Twitch with my Xbox One, and it's nice to have the camera, which is why I almost again today bought the Sony camera. That has no other appeal to me other than being able to stream.
I'll get one eventually one day too.
Yeah, eventually he'll stream.
This price, it needed to be $349.99, I think.
Really?
I see this as a price increase.
This is what
I
this,
really do.
This is what everybody wanted. Put a price parity between the PS4 and the Xbox One.
If it's just $399 for the base game,
Whoa! Whoa!
What is going on, guys?
Oh, no.
What's going on,
We're taking the
guys?
You just
battery out.
murdered it.
I don't know why a video just started playing.
there was like a sense of desperation on Tony's.
I was like, ah.
If I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt until their E3 conference to see if anything is bundled with this, because I think it has to. If not, I really truly see this as a way of like tricking the fans to thinking it's good press, but it's really a price increase.
And hey, if it works for him, more power to him.
Yeah.
So Andrew Dillon, here's what I want, right? When the thing sells like 10 million units of the unbundled one, note it so that we can make fun of Moss.
Yep.
I think this is going to work. I think it's going to work really well.
It gets a thumbs up from me. It's good for business.
It needs a bundle on day one. If there's no bundle, this is a price increase.
And that's
People
the smart
don't look at that like that though. They don't look
They
at
should.
it. That
If they don't, they're now the only
Go on,
people,
look right into the camera and tell them what they are.
the only people it would make sense for. Is
No, they're right there.
If they want the console just for the sake of having the console, and they're not going to play any of the major AAA games that are out. So if they're like, oh, now I was going to get one in December or November when I don't know the next Assassin's Creed comes out or something, but since it's $400 now, I might as well just get the console now, and I'll use Netflix or something using it. But if you're going to get it and buy Titanfall or any of the back catalog, it's not a good personal business decision.
So what are you saying that they are?
Fucking morons.
And with that concludes our news for the week.
it does, sir. That it does.
Which brings us to our next section.
Mm.
I guess it's about that time.
Gmail.
Well, I guess it's time for
Gmail.
Gmail? Oh God. Well, what am I supposed to say?
I go, oh God, and you go.
Is it time for?
All right. Oh God. Is it time for?
Gmail.
Remix. Okay, so we didn't do Andrew Dillon's questions last week, which because we had a bunch of BS facts. So he resubmitted the questions to us this week. He said, first question. He's got 4.
Oh God.
It's going at us hard here.
Oh God.
Oh, God.
4.
You almost beat Like Yos's record if you would have submitted one more. Wasn't that a BS fact from a couple weeks ago?
Maybe.
The record. Okay. Question number 1. Have you guys seen the YouTube video, How Gamers Eat Their Food?
No.
No.
No. He suggested that we watch it. It's only about a minute long. Here's what we're going to do, Andrew. We will watch it after the show, and we will comment on it again next week then.
Okay.
Number 2. Andrew says he has recently acquired a free Sega Genesis / Sega CD.
Nice.
He got Mortal Kombat, Echo the Dolphin, Sonic, Sega Classics, and Joe Montana Football.
Which one? 94?
Yes.
He
Hell
said
yeah, dude.
Joe Montana Football CD.
Okay.
Oh boy.
He said,
be rare.
what are some of the best Genesis / CD games that I should pick up?
Pick up the Vector Man series. Pick up Earthworm Jim. Pick up Beavis and Butthead on the Genesis because the SNES version was complete trash. Asterix and the Great Rescue is another great game. NHL 94.
Heralded is the best
Hockey game of all
hockey
time.
game ever. It's like the
And most of these games can be had for like 80, 90 cents on eBay. So, they're not exactly going to break the bank either.
Streets of Rage.
Yeah, pick up all the Sonics because
All
that's when
Sonic.
Sonic was good. Like get Sonic 1, 2, 3, Sonic and Knuckles, get them all.
Sonic
CD?
Spinball. Well, he's got Sonic CD.
Sonic Spinball is actually really good
I
too.
know that one might cost you a little bit actually.
Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
you just love saying that?
A better version of Dr. Mario, if you can believe it. It's actually more fun and more skill based and very good time.
Are you trying to say Dr. Mario is not skill based?
No, I said it's more skill based than Dr. Mario.
I think it takes a lot of skill to be very good at Dr. Mario. It's like Tetris.
I don't know. I'm well aware.
We will have a Mean Bean versus Dr. Mario challenge sometime down the line.
Sure thing.
I'll
Crush
do
it,
split
Dr.
screen.
Sure.
I'll crush you in Dr. Mario.
Okay.
There's no way you'll beat me in Dr. Mario.
I'm sure you're right. I've moved on to skillful games like Mean Bean Machine and mastered that.
Skillful games.
Yeah.
So you'll get crushed in one game.
Go ahead. You got
All
it?
right, I don't because it's an inferior system to my SNES. Sorry.
really.
I do agree. I had a Genesis and a Super Nintendo, and I have very few very fond memories of the Genesis.
Poor gentleman missed out.
I mean, I played all the
Well,
Sonics,
we
and,
played
and that's
Super
actually I agree with Tony. That's the platform that I played Beavis and Butthead on because my neighbor upstairs had it. I played most of the games that he mentioned. Wasn't there a really Jurassic Park for CD? It's really weird. I remember that game.
CD, I don't have many options for you because that was a bad console. It's cool to own. It's very cool to own, dude. But
I got one, actually.
not too much. Not
No.
too much, sir. It's more that just hang on to it.
Andrew's third question says, I recently beat L.A. Noire, and I was very disappointed at the ending. Have any of you guys finished the game, and what did you think of the ending? I did. Okay, so how old is L.A. Noire?
Go ahead, spoil the
5
shit
years.
out of it.
Okay. So the ending sequence is you're chasing down, if I remember correctly, because I beat it when it first came out, it's your crooked partner, if I remember correctly, and you're chasing him down, and you get stuck in the sewer, and has anybody seen Friday the 13th? I think it's part 6, Jason Takes Manhattan. In that movie, the way that they defeat Jason is he gets washed away in toxic sewage, and he dies that way. Well, very similar. L.A. Noire, you're running, and you're in the sewer, and as you're climbing out, you get washed away,
Jesus.
and that's how you die.
That sounds as
The main
That sounds
protagonist
bad.
dies?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
sounds bad.
And then it goes in, and the crooked partner, if I remember correctly, is actually giving you eulogy at your funeral afterwards.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was really disappointed with the ending because it was just. I usually like games that end on a series of down notes, and this guy's life goes from great to shit in the course of the 20 hours that it takes to complete the game. And it was a really good story. And then you get this really, in my opinion, hokey ending. Getting like washed out into the LA River or whatever it is. Everything leading up to that was really cool.
Lame sauce.
Yeah.
I didn't beat it, but that sounds lame.
Good game, crappy ending. A lot of games suffer from that. Like Halo 4.
Shut your
I can
mouth.
think of a few.
And his final question is something that we can all chime in on. He said, "What series do you feel is in need of a reboot, and what should they do in the reboot to change up the series?"
This is the easiest question for me to answer. Resident Evil. And to change it, I think go back to its roots in a modern HD
You
environment.
just gotta fix those damn controls.
The tank controls?
Yeah.
You could, yeah, I think they could.
That
I like them, but I understand that.
I've tried. Have you tried to go back and play those controls?
The
You
GameCube
just
ones,
spin in
yeah.
circles.
I like the GameCube controls. The Resident Evil 0 and the remake.
Well, those were already revamped, updated controls as it was.
Yeah, it's the tank controls, and I know I'm in the minority, but I really prefer the fixed cameras because I think it adds a lot to it. I mean, it's not a run and gun game, and it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And because it's not a run and gun game, you don't really need it to have the perfect camera angle so you can perfectly aim your gun like Resident Evil 4 and onward. So, for me, a reboot of Resident Evil, and I think it will happen.
God, I hope so. After that disaster that they came out with.
Yeah, Resident Evil 5. I know what you mean.
6.
Raccoon City.
Those don't count.
It's bad too. I got a couple in mind. First of which would be Earthworm Jim. That series has been dormant for quite some time. I don't even want them to change much. Just make another game. The cool thing is now you have this.
Not a reboot.
Huh?
You want a sequel?
Whatever. Either way you want to do it. I think it'd be cool. I think they were testing the waters when they came out with the HD one. That it supposedly sold well, and I don't know why they didn't do the second one. It wouldn't even be much. It could be a nice little $15, $20 download title because you can't get away with selling a $60 platformer anymore unless you have Mario in the title. You just can't do it. It's why like Rayman and stuff like the second week dropped to 40 and then 30 and then 20.
Rayman was never 60. It was 40
the
from
first
the
week.
get-go.
The first week it was 60. Pretty sure. I don't know. Maybe you're right.
I didn't buy Rayman Legends. I bought Rayman Origins. That was 40 at launch.
Yeah, that one was Legends. I think they tried to go.
Yeah. And it drops immediately because nobody's going to pay that for a platformer without Mario in the title.
That did drop. Rayman Origins did drop the first week it came out to 30. Because it came out and a week later was Black Friday and had it for 20. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. The other one's kind of coming true, and it's been doing so for the last few years, but they're not nailing it on the head, and that is Oddworld.
Oh, yeah.
They have... I'm obsessed with those games. There's only 4 legitimate series in the title, and for the Oddworld fans out there, it was supposed to be a quintilogy. It was supposed to be 5 major titles, but only 2 or 3 have come out because there's Abe, and he got 2 games. His first game was so popular they made a spin-off. That wasn't a proper because all 5 it's a universe where the 5 main protagonist stories all intertwine, and that's what they originally set out to do. Then you got Stranger from Stranger's Wrath, who actually spun off into Munch's Odyssey. That's why I don't know if they're counting Munch as a third or a spin-off of Stranger. And those are your 4 titles.
Oh, Munch came before Stranger.
Or either way.
Okay, I was because
It's one or the other, yeah. And the way that they actually have announced
new game, right?
the 2, well, they have New and Tasty coming up, but that's just the first one re-upscaled. And they
No, it's not
HD'd.
just an upscale.
No, they're reimagining too, yeah.
Yeah.
And the 2 Stranger's Wrath, Munch's Odyssey have both gotten the HD treatment. But they like this was back in the 90s. They already had the next games ready to go in the story. The main characters are picked out, the universe is picked out, the backstory is picked out, and they just never made the game because they actually sold out and tried to become a movie studio. And now they're going back to what they were doing. Oddworld Inhabitants, this is. So I want to see them do that proper.
Well, you started getting that if the new one sells well, I don't know when it comes out. I think it's late this year. So we'll
You and Tasty. I want him to finish it up, though. I've beaten all these games, you know? It's nice to get to revisit them in HD and stuff, but I want to see what happens. So,
We'll see. There's a really good possibility of mine coming true, and that's it's Road Rash. EA still owns the rights to Road Rash. Criterion is not doing anything now. That would be the ideal studio that I'd like to see. Those are the guys that did Burnout, and they did the two reimagines of Need for Speed. And I would like to take the concept of like the fast-paced, over-the-top Burnout and add in, you know, the kicking people and hitting them with baseball bats and all the crazy stuff, a la Road Rash. I think that would be really cool. And they keep renewing their license, so they keep holding on to it.
Yeah.
And it's been quite a while.
Didn't they just announce that they're not doing a Need for Speed this year? It was annualized for like 5 years
Yeah.
or something, but there's no 2014 Need for Speed.
Yeah.
good for them.
So
People are
maybe-
getting
And
a
I'm
little
hoping- and, yeah,
burned
honestly-
out on the series.
Wink, wink.
And I'm hoping that on a side note, because I loved Burnout Paradise, and it's been a couple of years since that they do another Burnout soon.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Road Rash, I don't think would justify a $60 title either. I think that'd have to be one of those $15, $20 games.
No, I think you could, just like you could do a Burnout.
Burnout's got a lot more to it. There's a lot more substance than just beating each other up on motorcycles. I love Road Rash.
Well, that's something
I
they could
think it'd be
flesh it
good.
out and actually turn it into a Burnout style game. That's Andrew Dillon's questions for the week,
Thank you, sir.
which leads us to our next section,
Bullshit.
our BS facts.
Shit.
Bullshit.
This is from episode number 46.
Okay.
December 23rd, 2012.
I was on this one.
Tony says that LucasArts games are focusing all their attention to Star Wars 1313.
Well, they're gone now, so.
Tony says you will not, underline, have to pay for online for the PS4.
Yes.
It's like bullshit.
This week it was just Tony and Mark,
Okay.
so they did a short cast because I was moving into my new apartment,
Yes.
which I moved again.
You just keep moving.
Same building now. Does it really count?
Yes. Twice.
On that day, December 23rd, 2013, was supposed to be the drunk cast.
Never happened.
2012.
Oh, sorry, yeah, 2012. Tony says the drunk cast will now be sometime in January 2013.
Never gonna happen. I want it to happen.
Jason has died, according to Mark. Well, you know what? If I've died, then Mark's dead.
Yeah, it's true.
THQ finally filed for bankruptcy. Tony and Mark were wrong in their predictions that they made in their huge THQ debate weeks prior. Tony was supposed to eat his hat, but he didn't, and still hasn't. Well, as you can see, he's not wearing a hat,
Unsure I've eaten it.
so he ate it. The NRA came out and blamed only Tony for gun violence across the nation.
Beautiful.
That
Is that BS or?
is our BS facts for the week.
All right. This has been episode 119. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Catch us next week. Same time, same place.